Surrender. Beautiful. Okay, my friends. Welcome, welcome. I'm Cantor Lizzy Shamash, and I'm so happy to see you here today at IJS Online Yoga. We'll begin in just a moment. Um, One caveat is that I am the tech support for today, so I'll do my best, but please bear with me. If there are any glitches, I may not be able to solve them. And just know that we don't have to be attached, that the recording will be up on YouTube within a day. And so there's always possibility to practice. So our props for today are going to be a blanket and two blocks, a blanket and two blocks. The rest of the IJS staff is in a retreat this week. And so here I am alone and made the choice on our behalf that we should continue to practice. So here we are. Um, Please do take a moment to silence any devices you have in the room or your phone, and to have with you the layers that you need and have the room as best as possible with lighting and temperature that really support your practice today of going inward. And I'll remind us, all of us, that the practice is yours. I'm just the tour guide. I'm making suggestions for movement. If they're contraindicated for you, or if they don't work for you, or if you're simply not in the mood for what I'm offering today, please by all means take something else. You can always stay longer in a pose or come out sooner or just do something entirely different that suits you better, that feels right to you, or stop and rest. It's really, you are at choice. It's always your practice to choose where you want to be, how you want to be in your body. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to have us begin on our backs and um, just make sure that the waiting room is disabled. It is great. Okay. So here we go. If you're just hopping on, welcome. We're starting the book of Leviticus this week, Parshat Vayikra. And the props for today, a blanket and two blocks. And we're going to start on our backs. If you'd like some uh, support from your blanket, you can lay it down before you lie down. So find constructive rest, the knees bent and the soles of the feet to the floor. And the elbows bent and the palms on the low ribs or the low belly. Soften the gaze, soften the eyes, soften the muscles around the eyes and behind the eyes. Feel your breath coming, filling your hands and going, receding from your hands. Filling the hands on the inhale and receding from the hands on the exhale. Soften the brow, the jaw, and soften the throat. And see if there's anywhere else that you can, in your body, just consciously soften about 5%, right? Just a little bit of unsqueezing, of releasing the stance of making a fist, just opening the hand, so to speak. With each exhale, allow the back body to rest and be heavy towards the floor. Notice how your contact feels from the back body to the floor. And we'll begin with a few pelvic tilts. So inhale, fill the belly, the ribs. As you exhale, draw the navel to the spine, flatten the curve of the low back, press the low back to the floor, and find length between the base of the rib cage and the pelvic crest. As you inhale, roll the pelvis back to neutral. Now that curvature of the spine is back. And as you exhale, navel to spine, press the low back to the floor. Just a small pelvic tilt can go such a long way for release for the spine. Inhale, come back to neutral. You can take this in your own time as we exhale through the nose, navel to spine, lengthen the tailbone, flatten out that low back curve, and really feel that length. Complete the exhale, and as you inhale, roll it back to neutral. So we're just going back and forth a few times. It's this sweet little simple gesture. Let it bring softening, lengthening. And then come on back to neutral. And we're going to activate the cervical spine, the neck, and the shoulders. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth and press the back of the head towards the floor. Tuck the chin slightly and feel those small muscles of the neck start to activate. Feel the neck lengthen. As you inhale, come back to neutral, release. As you exhale, as if you're exhaling through a straw, press the back of the skull to the floor. Inhale, release. And just like this, repeating, exhale, press the back of the head to the floor. Nothing tight here. It's a very light press, slight tuck of the chin, just lengthening those cervical vertebrae, and notice what engages. Exhale and release. Draw the right knee to the chest, give it a hug. And you can take the knee out to the side or in circles, just starting to open the hip. And then hug the knee to the midline and extend the left leg if that works for you. Flex through the foot and extend also through the ball of the foot, opening the hip flexor on the left. Release and change sides. Hug the left knee to the chest. And let the knee rock a little bit out to the side or make circles if you'd like, just starting to open through the hip today. Extend that right leg long, flex through the foot, extend through the ball of the foot. Hug that left knee towards the midline. Good. And then bring both knees to the chest. Give a hug, give a little rock side to side. And take the knees to tabletop. The shins are parallel to the floor. The arms can be extended by your sides or maybe even just tucked under your hips slightly for some support for the low back. And we're going to do toe taps, bringing the right toes down to the floor and lift up, and then the left toes down. Toe dips, engaging the abdominal core. Now, the further you tap your toe away from your body, the more challenging this is. You can check that out. The main thing is we don't want to have any movement through the core, stable torso, neutral spine as we do this. And then come on back up, take your hands to your thighs, and we're going to press the thighs to the hands and the hands to the thighs. Again, engage that corset of the abdominal support, and then release. And then once again, press thighs to the hands, hands to the thighs, engage, release. And again, press, engage, release. Take your hands to the outsides of the knees, same thing. Press the knees out while you press the hands in. Notice how that feels across the low back, and release. Once again, press, engage. See if you feel maybe a little bit of widening in the low back. Release. And one more time, press, hands to knees, knees to hands. Release. Then take your arms inside the knees. I like to just keep my arms long so the forearm is against the inner knee. And once again, press the knees into the hands and the hands into the knees. Release. Exhale, engage, press. Release, inhale. One more time. Exhale, press. Inhale, release, hug the knees. Massage your lower back out a little bit. You can stay right here, or you can come up to seated if you'd like. That's where we'll be headed after a little bit of teaching. I'd like to just share a brief teaching on this week's Torah portion, Vayikra. So, as I said, we're beginning the book of Leviticus, Vayikra, and this Wednesday night and Thursday will also be Rosh Chodesh of the new month of Nisan, the month of Pesach. So in Parshat Vayikra, we see laws around different kinds of sacrifice, a sacrifice, an olah, something that goes up. The meal offering, mincha, the sacrifices of well-being, zevach shelamim, the sin offering, the guilt offering, asham, etc. All these various kinds of sacrifices which will be instructed for Aaron and his sons for the priestly class to offer. So, and the Torah says that our offerings should make a pleasing odor for the divine. Reach nichoach, a pleasing odor for Yud He Vav He. So what does this mean in our lives? What does this mean in our yoga? These are a set of instructions that we can live by, structures for how to approach in life, how to make offering in life, how to approach the divine nature of our own lives, how to approach others with dignity and respect, how to give thanks, how to apologize, how to bless. And this yoga mat is an altar, is a mizbeach for us. And we can, when we bring something to make a sacrifice at the altar in literal terms, it burns. It burns off. There are byproducts that burn. And in the same way, in yogic philosophy, there's a word tapas, which means burning up, actually. And it is one of the actions that comes as a result of bringing ourselves to the mat and taking our shapes and our postures, making our various offerings. There's a burning off of what we don't need. So you can place onto the altar whatever needs to be burned up, whatever wants to be released emotionally, physically. And as we turn from winter into spring, one of the names of Pesach is Chag Aviv, the holiday of spring. We can really think what needs to be released and offered up with the season. Rabbi Yael Levi says, let your practices, deeds, doubts, mistakes, and blessings be your offerings. That we can offer gratitude, we can acknowledge hurt and pain we have caused. We can practice compassion and understanding. And she says also, make an offering of your talents, your distinctions, your vulnerabilities, and your delights. So we come to the mat today to make an offering. And you might consider what offerings need to be made. Is it gratitude? Is it forgiveness in some form? Is it self-forgiveness for judgment or harsh criticism? Is it a place where we might need to apologize, where we made a mistake with ourselves or with someone else? So we just take a moment to come to this mat, to give offering, to consider how to approach and what to offer. So let's continue on quadruped. We'll take a little bit of cat and cow, and if it's not comfortable to do this on the floor, you can absolutely do this seated in the chair. As we inhale, we arch, dropping the navel, widening the collarbones, turning the sit bones up as we gaze up, exhaling navel to spine, curling tail and crown down. Inhale, lengthen, arch, and exhale, curl. Taking this in your own breath, it may not match the length of my breath. Just alternately arching, curling. Noticing any sensations in the body. And then come back to neutral. Let the tailbone drag your buttocks back toward your heels for child pose, or if you prefer, buttocks in the air and bring the forehead down. You can also take the blanket behind your knees or in at your hips to give some space. Walking the arms forward, and if you're seated in the chair, you're just widening the knees and coming forward and resting forearms on the thighs. So finding some length here. And then walk the arms and the upper body over to the right, especially lengthening through the left fingertips. Coming back through center and walk over to the left, lengthening through the right arm, the right palm, the right fingertips. What would you like to offer up? And then coming back to neutral, we'll thread the needle, taking a small twist, inhaling the right arm out to the right, and exhale, take it behind the left wrist, palm facing up, laying the arm down. If you're seated in the chair, taking the right arm across the body, giving it a hug, or taking a little twist over to the left. Just starting to warm up the body here. See what's needed. Come on back. We'll take the other side, inhaling the left arm out to the left and exhaling, threading it behind the right wrist. Extend through the arm, maybe press into those right fingertips. Take any variation you'd like here. Starting to wake up the spine with the 6 movements of the spine. So cat and cow, arching, curling, and then side bending and twisting. And then when you're ready, come on out. We're going to take those 2 blocks if you've got them. And if you don't, that's fine. It works fine without them. It's just nice to elevate. They're going shoulder distance apart and vertically on the mat. And we're going to take our elbows to the front of the block, front edge, palms in prayer, And then let your tailbone draw you back in space. So this is for the triceps, the armpits. Let the head neck be very easy. You can draw back and come forward. We don't want the elbows to splay too much, more or less in line with the shoulders, but certainly widen them if you need some space for the shoulders. And as you come down, maybe the palms in prayer come to rest between your shoulder blades, or you might prefer them with fingertips moving up toward the ceiling. See which works for you, which you like. You can kind of play around. Allow the middle of the heart space to melt. That is the space right between the shoulder blades. Let it melt toward the floor. Torso long. This can be kind of an intense one. And we want to externally rotate the upper arms. So the idea is the triceps are wrapping under you. And then when you're ready, come on out. That might not have been clear. So let me explain this. Take your hand to the inside of your arm and start to turn the fingers outward. Turn this way. That is external rotation. And you see it gives some opening to the whole shoulder girdle when we do that. And then go to the other side. Take the meat of your arm here, bicep, tricep, kind of the whole thing, and then rotate externally. I feel it as like, release in my shoulders, tops of my shoulders. Right? So check that out. That's the action we need for downward facing dog. Sometimes we also say, take the eyes of the elbows and turn them upward in the direction of upward. So we're going to take downward facing dog, and you can also take it on a chair. If it's not preferable for your wrists to do it here. One variation I'd like to offer is it can be really nice to turn out at the wrists a little. The fingertips are turning out and take hold of either side of the mat. Kind of gives a nice opening for the shoulders. We'll tuck the toes. We'll lengthen the tailbone back. Long, long torso. Keep lengthening tailbone back, pubic bone back. Tuck the toes under you. Lift the knees. Keep the knees bent and continue to lengthen the tailbone so the arms are straight. The upper arms, external rotation. And then from here, take your heels alternately to the floor. If you would like, a little pedaling out of the feet. So again, if this is too much on your shoulders or your wrists, you can take it palms against the wall. You can take it hands to a chair. And then dropping the heels toward the floor if you like. And then from here, we're going to slowly walk it forward like a little Michael Jackson moonwalk, if you recall that, of just one foot at a time, lifting the heel, moving all the way through the sole of the foot until you walk your way toward the front of the mat and take a ragdolly sort of forward bend. When you're ready, press into the feet and roll it up. Wonderful. Okay. Take one of your blocks and place it between the thighs. So when we were lying on our backs at the beginning, we were playing with engaging the legs and then also engaging the abs here. So you notice when you press on the block, and probably you'll have it on its the least width here, so that your hips remain so your feet are hip width apart. If you need more, you can move it, but probably most of us are more than fine in this orientation here. Squeeze on the block and also roll your thighs in slightly. As you roll your thighs in slightly, let the tailbone naturally come back. When we roll the thighs in, we get this this lengthening here of the groins. And then from here, you can sit it down. Continue to squeeze the block. Good. Press into the feet and come up. So we're going to just come down and up a few times. Inhale. Exhale, roll the thighs in, sit it down, squeeze on the block. Inhale, come up. And exhale, sit down. Easy gaze, head and neck in line. Inhale, come up. Exhale, sit it down, squeezing the block. Inhale, come up and pause. Ground the feet. Inhale the arms, could be shoulder height. It could be arms by the ears. Exhale, sit it down. Chair pose, sometimes called fierce pose. So you see where you want the arms to be. Maybe you want palms together at the heart. You decide. Long spine, one line, tail to crown. Draw the navel in and make length just below your rib cage. When you're ready, press into the feet and come on up. From here, inhale the arms shoulder height. Exhale, take them behind your back. Clasp hands. Inhale, lift the heart. And then exhale, bend the knees, crease the hips, and fold forward. And take the arms in whatever position you'd like overhead, or possibly you're just working hands at the waist, squeeze the shoulder blades, draw the elbows toward each other and look up. Also plenty, same action. Really depends on our own shoulders. And opening across the front of the chest. And then when you're ready, come on back up to neutral and give the shoulders a little bit of a roll. Good job, everybody. So shoulders, neck, we generally do a lot of work for the back, the upper back, part of the thorax, but sometimes we neglect the opening of the front of the chest. And that's super important too, especially in this winter to spring period where we want to get these lung meridians open and healthy. Just a little more for head, neck, shoulders. Let's take the right ear to the right shoulder and let the head be very heavy and just take a nod right here. Like a yes, a sideways yes. If you'd like, you can take your right arm up and over towards the ear and just give a little extra pull. And then if you want even a little more, you can flex through that left hand. Sometimes it's a little much, so you decide. Just right here is also fine too. And then slowly release, come on back up. Left ear to left shoulder. A little bit of a nod. And then arm overhead if you'd like. The flex of the right arm if you'd like. So what are you bringing to the mat today? What are you offering? How are you approaching the gift of this day? As you make the sacrifice of your time, your effort, your energy, your money, all the various kinds of things that we offer, right? And then when you're ready, release. Let the chin come to the chest, and we're just going to do slow half moons. Again, from ear to ear, coming down with chin to chest and then over to each side. Helps release the back of the neck all the way down, really probably to the base of the rib cage. Sometimes I feel it, and it helps release the jaw and the skin of the face. So this is a great little computer break to remember. And just come on up and notice how you feel in your jaw, in your upper shoulders, where the back of your head meets your neck. And then we can let this inform our standing poses. So we're going to take warrior two, jumping or stepping the legs wide, turning the left toes in and the right toes out. And let's just start by bending the knee and straightening a couple of times, just finding this line, finding the opening of the adductors, the inner legs. And then inhale the arms up shoulder height, gazing over the right fingertips. Exhale, bend the knee. And here we are, warrior two. Finding that stability. No pain or strain for the knee, right? So go to only to where it's easy and not past 90 degrees. And then come on up, turn the feet. We'll take the other side, inhale the arms. We'll just start with a little bending, straightening. Just waking up the groins, the inner line of the legs. Offering our presence, a blessing to our own selves. Inhale the arm shoulder height and exhale, come on in and pause and stay. Notice where's your mind. Just bring it right here to this moment, this breath, this gesture. And then when you're ready, straighten through the legs. We're going to take a wide leg forward bend. You may want your blocks in front of you. If the hands would like support, you're bringing the floor up to you. Hands to the hips. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, fold forward at the crease of the hips. Lengthen the torso. And if you'd like, folding all the way down, allowing the head to come down as well, maybe resting, maybe the crown of the head resting on a block. And then unwinding, lengthen the spine, hands to the hips. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, come back to neutral. And we'll come to seated. So just starting with the knees wide and the hands behind you. And then windshield wiper the knees a little bit to one side and then to the other side, and take a pause when you come to the right here. So we call this 90-90 because the knees are at 90 degrees roughly, and you can kind of arrange this so you're comfortable. We're going to turn to face the front shin, and if you'd like, folding forward. It's a little pigeon variation. Hip, buttock, low back. What would you like to leave on the altar, on the Mizbeach today? When you're ready, coming on up, easy with the knees. Come on back through center, over to the other side, Find this 90-90. Inhale, lengthen the torso, and then exhale, coming forward over the front leg. So maybe you're just sitting up. Maybe you're just coming forward a little bit and you see where it engages, see where it lives for you. Hmm. Notice how it's different one side to the other. And then when you're ready, come on up. We're going to take a seated twist. I like to sit up on the blanket a little bit, make a fold and sit up. Give a little elevation for my hips. See what you need. And maybe that last position sort of gave a little opening for the buttocks if you want to try this variation. But of course, we can take any of them. Can be here, legs parallel, left leg long. It could be the right leg crossing over left or left leg tucking under. So you decide. Hands to the right shin. Inhale and find your length. And then exhale, we're going to take a twist to the right. It might be just a little, it might be a lot. You'll see where you want to place the left hand or elbow. Inhaling, the spine is tall. And exhaling, we're spinning. When you're ready, come back through center and take a counter twist to the left. Shake out the legs and find the other side, whichever variation you prefer. The webbed hands to the left shin, pressing into the shin to help inhale and really come up onto the center of the sitting bones, nice and tall. Inhale here and exhale, take a twist to the left. Just noticing how it might be different on this side. And when you're ready, unravel, unwind, take a counter twist to the right. Bring a block by you as come down to the floor. We're going to take figure 4, crossing right ankle over left thigh, and then bring this whole thing in, thread the hands behind the left thigh as you pull in. Now, notice if there's any shortening of the neck as you pull in, right? And repeat that gesture we did at the beginning of our session of pressing the back of the head to the floor, tucking the chin just ever so slightly, lengthening cervical spine, trapezius muscles. Really keeping the integrity of this offering. And then release. We'll take the other side. Left crossing over right. Bringing the whole thing in, threading the arms through. And once again, press the back of the head ever so gently to the mat. Tuck the chin ever so slightly. So there's a relationship through the entire torso, all the way to the legs, through the entire spine, all the way to the pelvis. And when you're ready, release, give the knees a little hug, a little rock side to side. Maybe you want to curl the forehead toward the knees. And then we're going to bring the soles of the feet to the floor, press into the feet, lift the hips, and take the block under the sacrum, the low back, that bony big plate there of the low back. You might stay right here in this supported low bridge. Or you might want to move to supported shoulder stand, which is bringing the legs up in the air, the soles of the feet facing the ceiling, and tucking the shoulder blades under you, rolling the outer shoulders outward so that the sternum lifts on its own. There's nice space for the neck and chin. And here we are in a supported shoulder stand variation. The offering of the inversion. Good for circulation. Good for returning to parasympathetic dominance. Fancy word for rest and digest, for just calming our system. Give this offering fully. So part of Vayikra is, with what part of yourself will you approach? How will you constitute yourself for your offering? Frenetic or calm? When you're ready, can bring the knees down, feet down, lift the hips, remove the block, roll it down vertebra by vertebra. Give any last movements you'd like. And then come to stillness. Couple of minutes. It might be with arms and legs long, eyes closed. You could remove your glasses if you wear glasses. It could be knees bent, soles of the feet to the floor. It could be fetal position, just taking a few moments to let the nervous system integrate the learning. Begin to deepen the breath. Starting to come back to the surface and to enliven yourself fully by filling with nishima, with breath, with chayut, with life force. Wiggle your fingers and your toes, starting to come back. And then slowly take your time to make your way up to a comfortable seat. Let your practices, deeds, doubts, mistakes, and blessings be your offering. So as you come up to a comfortable, tall seat, take a hand to the heart and a hand to the belly just below the navel. And feel your breath against your hands. And perhaps I invite you to set a kavanah, a light kavanah to carry you through the week. It might be, I will make my offerings with love. Or it could be an intention to offer more blessing, more gratitude in the offerings. Or it might be, I let go of self-criticism. These are all offerings. So just making a kavanah to carry through the week about how you will approach the mat, how you might like to approach this life, and bring your offerings. And then you can soften the hands and remove them back to your lap. Allow the eyes to open. And take a couple more full, deep breaths as you begin to take in this space, take in your room. Toda rabah, everyone. Thank you for practicing. Thank you for being with me together. It's really, really wonderful.